Desire.
Hi.
Hi. I'm very excited for people to get to know you because I think you have such an incredible story. Who is Desire?
My name is Desire Dzakator. I come from Ghana in West Africa. I relocated to the United States about 10 years ago. I have passion for anything automotive. I've been in it for about 18 years now.
Okay.
So that's what I can tell about myself.
So you've been here in the United States for how long?
For almost 10 years. I'll be 10 years in August.
I love Desire stories. One of my favorite stories that you've shared with me is your first, how basically you got your first job here in the United States.
When I relocated here for about 4 months, I couldn't get what I wanted. I found myself was a small city like 23,000 people, Moscow, Idaho, a college town.
A college town.
So
okay.
I didn't get any auto repair business to employ me.
Okay.
So I chanced upon this lady called Christy at the Department of Labor office.
So you go to the Department of Labor office.
Yes.
You meet a lady named Christy.
Yes. Through the discussion, we established a connection because Christy had a pen pal from Ghana in the 80s.
So what are the chances that you go there, she had a pen pal?
So me telling her I'm from Ghana, just excited her.
No, she works for the Department of Labor and she's trying to help you find this job.
Yes.
Okay.
Through that program, I was able to secure about 7,000 worth of funds from the state. It's a grant.
Okay,
to
so
get
you
my
got a $7,000 grant from the state.
Yes, from
Okay.
the state of Idaho to get my toolbox. And then Christy didn't end there. She used one of her childhood schoolmates, high schoolmates, to get me my first job in Idaho Falls. So Christy's friend, mate, is called Mark. Mark works with Commercial Tire. He's the operations manager. So he looked at me for vacancies in one of their stores, which used to be Idaho Falls.
Okay.
And then instructed the store manager to hold an interview for me. And we had it on Skype.
Okay, so Christy helped you get a grant.
Yeah.
She helped you get a job. But now you're in Moscow and you have to move to Idaho
Falls.
I asked you what your biggest challenge was coming from Ghana to the United States, and what did you say?
Me trying to buy a car without a credit history.
Yeah, you said credit cards earlier, and I was like, credit cards? Were you going to buy a car with a credit card? And you're like, no, credit.
No,
I
it's
was like,
credit.
oh, credit, okay.
So it was funny because where I come from, there's nothing like a credit system. So I saved up some money, I think $500 to go buy a car as a down payment. And then I used a taxi to go to the dealership, drop me off. And the driver is also a nice person. He's called Nathan. So he dropped me off and I went in there. Just say, oh, I saw this car, I want to buy it. Then they said, oh, what's your social security number? Then I call it. Then he checked from the system and said, sorry, I cannot help you. You have no credit history.
You have no credit, so no car for you. Then you don't have a ride home because you think you're driving your car home.
Yeah.
So you call the taxi cab driver back, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And what happens?
So he came back and was surprised. Hey, what happened to the car? I said, they only give me the car because they say I have no credit history. So Nathan was very gracious to me. So on our way back home, there were other dealerships on the way. We stopped at the second one on our way back, and the same story, they couldn't help me. So Nathan took it upon himself to be my spokesperson because you can see I have a ticker set. So he became my spokesperson. And he told me not to give up. He has the faith that I'll get a car.
Yeah.
So we kept on driving back home, and then we met a third dealership. We walked in and saw the owner, who is called Tim. He runs the place with the wife, Kathy. So Nathan narrated my story to him, and then he just kept quiet, looked down, looked up a bit, and then closed his eyes. I don't know what he was doing. And then a few seconds later told me that he doesn't know why he's doing this, but he has an intuition within him that I'm a good person. So he'll give me one of his cars to make payments.
What kind of car was it?
It was a 2001 Chevy Malibu.
You paid him your $500 that you'd saved up, and he let you pay him back. Is that right? For the car?
Yes. Actually gave me 3 months to pay off the rest, but I just don't like being debt, so I paid off like in advance. I think I did like 6 years or something. And he got excited and said, hey, if you need to upgrade your car, just come grab anything you want.
I love that. I love that. Another thing you shared with me, well, it's one of the things that I actually admire the most about you, is your strong faith. I believe you told me when you had to move from Moscow to Idaho Falls, it was important for you to find a church.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I have a very strong faith in the Lord, because whatever I am now is the making of the Lord. So I have this a personal guide that anytime I relocate to a new place, my first Sunday, I find a Bible-believing church and attend.
You are moving to a new place, and it's important to you that you have a church by the first Sunday that you attend.
Yes.
Okay.
When I finish offloading my belongings, already I've sighted up, I looked up the church in Moscow. So I decided where my church home to be. So I used the U-Haul van to go to the place to look at the address, then return the truck back to U-Haul. So the following Sunday, which was my first Sunday,
Your first Sunday in
Idaho
Falls.
I booked up a cab to drop me off at church. And then
This is before you got the car.
Yes,
Okay.
before. That was in January. I moved there in January.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. When I got dropped off, I went to the church, and it was time for us to exchange greetings, which is part of the service. So this elderly man called Jim came to shake my hand and say, hey, what's your name? And I said, Desire. Yeah, I saw a taxi drop you off. I just want to tell you that it's too expensive to do that. So from now on, I will be dropping you off. And true to his word, after church service, he dropped me at home, and every Sunday, religiously, he drops me. And even went ahead to tell me that anytime I need to shop for groceries and stuff, I should let him know. Me going to buy groceries for him to drop me off with him, I just thought it's just too white for me to ask for him. But like church services, he comes and picks me every time.
You just are always so positive. Like, you always see the bright things and things. You always see the positive things, and positive in things. And I feel like you're always encouraging others to do that too. That God is good. And
for that, I would say I've been in like difficult situations, both here and back home. I've come to realize that we go through bad stuff, but it could be worse than. So whatever I find myself in, I still okay. God has a hand in it, and He saved me from the worst situation. So I should be grateful to what I am.
so what does it mean to you to be here now?
I don't normally share this, but I'll share. I didn't actually apply for this, this. Laura just reached out to me.
Oh, this job.
Yes.
Okay.
When-
You weren't hunting for a job.
No.
Okay.
So when Laura reached out,
Laura is the HR.
the
HR. She's over all of it.
she saw my resume on Indeed, and reached out. One thing that caught my attention is she was very professional.
Laura was very
Yes, very
professional.
professional.
Okay.
I was telling God that my last job, I spent over 6 years there. I got to a point in my career where I wanted to know the business aspect of operations. One thing too I did was that I prayed to God that, hey, this leap I'm doing, I just don't want to just move because I'll need a move.
So you're praying to God that if you make a leap and a change, you don't want to just do it because...
I want to do it, but it should be under where He wants me to. My first day of interview here, when I got to the stop sign there, the sort of peace that I experienced, I cannot explain to you. Yes. I even shared this with my mentor that I don't know why, but this is what I feel. And he said, let's pray about it. So long story short, I knew my presence here is not by accident. And Angela, to say something, you said something during my second interview, like where you wanted to get to know me, that you needed help with something. You reaching out to me that, hey, you need help with this, was something humbling to me that, hey, I could bring my expertise to bear.
You bring so much value to this organization. And I mean, your character, I admire it so much. And I think we all have learned so much from you. And there's so much more that you have, to teach us. And you're just so happy all the time, Desire, right?
I thank you for that grace.
Tell us what it means to invest in yourself.
I really like this question. Educational system here as compared to my country, Ghana, is a bit different. So I needed to add value to myself. So by the grace of God, I started like digging, researching to how I could bring my credentials home and then progress here.
So you're like researching for yourself, like how to add value to yourself. Value to yourself.
Yeah. I chose that of UCN because they have a program in automotive technology management.
Automotive technology management. Okay.
Which is something I've been doing for the past 18 years. 2 years to get my bachelor's in automotive technology with a minor in business administration.
Congratulations. That was a big accomplishment. And so now what are you doing? There's his laugh.
I'm now pursuing my master's in industrial management.
Master's in industrial
management. And my emphasis is on quality management.
Quality.
So I will study processes and see where variations are and add value to it. So that's what I do now.
And you are so good at that, Desire.
I try.
You've helped us out so much here in doing that, and looking at processes and giving us new ideas, and it's another thing we're very grateful for.
Thank you.
So what is it like working with Desire, and what can they expect from you?
Expect the best from me. That's it. Respect, love, teamwork, live it.
Love and teamwork. What more could we ask for, right, Desire? Okay, Desire, thank you for telling us so much about you. Tell us what your role is here at CAW.
Okay, I serve here or work here as a service advisor, and I coordinate the activities of like repair processes for one of our biggest clients from beginning to end. It's such a unique project because they have a custom-made processes that they use for the operation. So I coordinate the activities. So, yeah.
Which is what you just said earlier is kind of your expertise, is processes and managing those processes. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you here, what's the best way they can reach you?
You can email me, call me. I'm here to help.
And you get to see that smile.